Hi there, it's Bruce Bishop, and this is Go Right Ahead. And today I have with me a young lady who I met a couple of years ago, a fellow author. Now she's based in Florida, although is a native New Yorker, and I'm here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. So we're a few miles apart, but we like each other's books, and I think that's the
Yes.
start of a good familial, not familial. What's the word I'm looking for? Um, a relationship between two authors. So her name is Karen Osborne, and Karen
Karen
began. Oh,
E Osborne.
pardon me, E Osborne.
All
Like
right.
me, you have to use the middle initial because people have copied our names, so we have to use our middle initial, right? But you did begin writing novels following a 40-year career in academic administration. And then you jumped into the not-for-profit sector, traveled the world, tons of speaking engagements. And then I guess you thought, okay, I'm going to sit down for a bit and write a few novels. And your novels began with Getting It Right back in 2017. I might mispronounce the name of the company, Akashic Books.
Acacia.
Akashic Books.
Acacia.
Okay. And that's a traditional small press. Then came Tangled Lies in 2021, Reckonings in 2022. Now I need my glasses. True Grace in 2023, and Justice for Emerson this year in 2025. The last four novels I mentioned were published by Black Rose Writing, which is a company based in Texas. And the two of Karen's that I've read to date were True Grace and Justice for Emerson. And True Grace really appealed to me because I do write historical fiction, but I'm afraid to go further back than the 20th century. So her
Mm.
her her book True Grace is set in 1924 during the Harlem Renaissance, and it's very evocative of the time. You feel like you're right there, and I loved it. And Justice for Emerson, the book that came or the novel that came out this year, has a dual timeline. So part of the time we're in during the Vietnam War, starting around the late 1960s, and then we jump to contemporary day. But as the title implies, Justice for Emerson is a bit of a thriller, and it's a great thriller. So, Karen, thank you, first of all, for being here. And let's start with you telling me your favorite genre because you have experimented in at least two or three genres.
Yeah, because I love learning new things and trying new things, but I read mostly historical fiction and thrillers.
Right.
Those are my two faves. Although I have branched out because I'm in a writing group, so I now read fantasy and all kinds of other books that I wouldn't have necessarily picked up.
And are they coming easily to you, or are you beginning to read like, let's say it's a Western romance, and you're thinking, no. Are you getting there with the new genres?
I am, but when I know the author.
Yeah. Oh
So with
yeah.
a thriller, I'm willing to experiment. Bruce says, "Oh, Karen, you should read this. This is a great thriller," and I think I trust Bruce, and I'm going to read it. But if Bruce said, "Karen, need to read this great new horror book I just finished," mm. But if you said I wrote it, then I would say, "Okay, if Bruce wrote it, I'm going to give it a try."
Yeah, I kind of go along with that too. I tend to avoid certain genres unless I know the author behind the genre. When you first started, did you seek representation from a literary agent, or did you begin to send your manuscript to small presses?
So I started with a literary agent uh, and sending it to lots and lots of agents, sending it out to agents, getting
Yeah.
reject.
Yep.
And then a friend introduced me to her agent. And she not only introduced me, but she set up a luncheon. And so that we actually met face to face.
Hmm.
And then my friend Cheryl McKissick, who's an author herself, told Marie that Karen's book is fabulous and I just want you to meet her. And so I did get an agent, and then she got me my first contract. And I have to admit to you, Bruce, that after I signed those papers and I shook her hand and thanked her, I cried all the way home.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal I can't replicate that moment myself, but I'm sure it is a phenomenal moment because it's the first time, I suppose, that you're given the seal of approval.
Yeah, somebody liked my book and got me a contract with publishing house
Yeah, that's
and
great.
a little advance. I actually got a somebody sent me a check.
Wow. Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. And you move from that publishing company to Black Rose Writing, as I mentioned in the introduction. Um, what was that like? Again, you were you still living in New York, or were you
I was
in
still in New York.
Florida by then? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was still in New York and I can't remember. But because we snowbirded for a while. We
Yeah.
did, uh, well, I went back to my original publisher and they only published like 2 books a year or 3 books a year. So he told me it was going to be, like 5 years from now before, or it was some long period. I'm
Mm,
exaggerating, but
yeah, yeah.
and I so I thought, well, okay, then I will just plow back in. And Marie had retired. My agent had retired. So I started sending rejects, 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 rejects until Black Rose said yes.
Mm,
And and I was so excited. I investigated them. I'd looked into them before submitting to them,
hmm.
and they said yes. And so
You've been
I've
with,
stuck with them because they've been very, very good to me.
right. So your overall assessment is that they're good to you as the author, the writer. Um, any slip ups I mean, I don't mean to for you to tell
Mhm.
me any secrets or anything like that. I don't mean that,
Oh,
but it's a little nerve-wracking to know that sometimes with traditional publishing you are giving up some control. So are
yes.
you able to have don't like that cover, or you know what I mean, like feedback?
Yeah, they are amazing. They are, first of all, they send you, first they ask you if you have any ideas for your cover. So
Oh.
like for your book, your latest book, Grow Up, Rory,
Hmm.
uh, you had your vision for what you wanted that cover to be.
Mm,
And Black Rose would have said thank you and used it. If you don't have a vision, then they send you and say, well, here's our vision.
sure.
And if you don't like the vision they have, they say, okay, well, then you need to tell us what you want because this is what we think is really good.
Hmm.
So they
Yeah.
push back. They're very, very open. I found my own voice actor for the audiobook, even though
Oh.
the contract between the voice actor is with Black Rose, not with me. Like
Hmm.
I didn't pay for her or anything, but I found her and asked Black Rose, and they listened and they said, yeah, she's good. So Black Rose has been really supportive. Uh, after I had all those rejections and then I found them, very next year, they contacted me and said, do you have another book?
Mm,
So I
nice.
didn't have to go through,
Yeah.
the vetting. Now they are older and more sophisticated. And so I did have to apply this year for next year's book.
Hmm.
They didn't just call up and say, oh, Karen, we're ready for your next book, which
Mm,
they had been doing. Thank you, Black Rose. But now I had to submit it, but then I got a contract.
got
So,
approved. Right.
um, and like, I think this is true. I don't know, Bruce, if you speak to a lot of authors, but you have to do so much of your own marketing,
Hmm. Hmm.
and that's no. So for Black Rose, I have to do, and with Acacia, both of them, I had to do a lot of my own marketing. They give you a lot of support. They do some things. They give you ideas, they give you discounts, but awful lot of time. And when I listen to my friends who are with the big five,
Mm,
the big five, if you're not like a big fish, if you're not Michael Connolly coming out with your latest Lincoln Lawyer book,
yeah.
then you have to do a lot of your own marketing
Oh, sure.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the biggest shock that most new authors or debut authors find, whether they're self-published, small press published, or published by a larger company like Black Rose. And it kind of makes sense because how can one company like have its eye on, I don't know, 100 plus authors or however many
There you go.
that they represent? Um, are there once you're accepted by Black Rose, are there then like a menu of fees that you can have them do certain things, or will they automatically take over the distribution, printing,
So they
etc.?
do everything in terms of getting it into the to libraries, getting it into, stores like Walmart, not in their physical store, but
Hmm.
in their website.
Yeah,
They they do all the Amazon work, and the Barnes and Noble work, getting everything up and running. They, everything is set up.
that's great.
But then you, the author, have to get those reviews.
Oh
You,
yeah.
the author, have to. But what Black Rose does, which I think is amazing, is they have a Facebook page for their authors. It's a private
Hmm.
Facebook group, and we help each other. I say, hey, Bruce, would you read, can we do a review swap? Uh, somebody approached me about this. Does anyone have any experience with it? Is this a good
Hmm.
idea?
Right.
I think this is AI and they're
Mm.
trying to trick me. What do you think? Yes,
Yeah.
they tried to trick me too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Those
yeah, so
kinds of
that part is
I think those, as I agree with you, those types of Facebook groups are invaluable, whether they be centered on your genre, like historical fiction. And there's a ton of historical fiction Facebook groups, but there's only really two or three I find that can be quite hands-on and that other authors will join in and discuss or whatever. But that's great that Black Rose has its own as well because we spend so much time solitary. We need people to every now and then, pat us on the back or show us where we're going wrong
yeah,
or
yeah. Share. And then Black Rose also has an annual author fest, and it's a conference just for their authors. And
is it
so we
is it
actually
is it live like in
it's
Texas or
live.
wow.
We fly to Texas.
Wow.
And yeah, and it's so good, just to see all the people, to meet them. There's little workshops, but a lot happens at the bar and at the restaurant.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
I've made some wonderful, wonderful author friends just through Author Fest.
sure, sure. We have something similar in the city I'm in, the Writers Federation of Nova Scotia, and there's lots of different events, especially a lot of book launches, even though we may be all over the place. In other words, indie authors mix with traditionally published authors and
Nice.
hybrid authors and all that kind of thing. Well, what you've got five out now. Are you on your sixth, or what are you doing now?
Six, 6 and 7.
Six and seven. Whoa, whoa.
So I have a contract for number 6, which is coming out in October of
Right.
next year. And then number 7 is a sequel, which is the first time I've ever written a sequel, and it comes out in 2027.
And that'll be a
So,
sequel to which book?
so uh, I approached Black Rose that I was writing a sequel to my very first book, Getting It Right.
Hmm.
And he said, I don't own Getting It Right. You had a different publisher.
Oh, right.
So I don't want a sequel of a book that I don't own. But I have stayed in touch with my original author. Johnny Temple was a terrific guy, and I've kept a relationship with him over all these years. And so I contacted him and he gave me my contract. He gave me
Right.
my
Your right.
contract back.
Your
And
rights.
so,
Yeah. So you own the
yeah.
rights now. Yeah.
So now I have my rights to the book. So in October, I have totally rewritten Getting It Right because I had to make it ready for the sequel. It'd been
Okay.
8.5 years, and the sequel happened 6 months later, 8 months later. So I needed to bring it up to date.
Sure.
and then I added scenes and, you know, did some things to make it, it's the same story,
Yeah,
but I
but
literally rewrote it chapter by chapter. And so it comes out in October, and then the sequel, Getting It Wrong, comes out the next year.
wow, that's well, it's kind of nice that you know in advance what's happening. In other words, you're not going to sit there at the desk with your pencil and scratch your head and say, "Now what? Now what do I do?" You know, you're very
Well,
fortunate in that regard.
actually, no, Bruce.
No,
No.
no,
Well, I know for the getting it right what's going to happen because I'm rewriting it. But the sequel, one of my in my writing group, he asked me, he says, "Well, does she get away?" And I said, "I don't
you don't know yet.
know."
Oh my gosh. I love though the two titles, Getting It Right and Getting It Wrong. And boy, we all go through the latter, but we aspire to the former, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, great. Well, listen, as I think I might have mentioned to you in one of our calls, maybe not when it wasn't recorded, um, you will be asked very soon by a good friend of mine, Ann O'Connell, with her podcast, which is called The Author's Journey. And because she writes in the same genre as you, she's so keen on interviewing you. So look in your email box for something soon from Ann O'Connell or OC Publishing. It's the same thing.
Thank you so much. I look forward
Oh,
to it.
don't mention it. It's a pleasure to see you again, meet you again. And this chat that we're having now will be up, I guess, within the next couple of days. I'm going on. You were just on a very extended trip. I'm about to go on an extended trip. So have a wonderful holiday season.
Travels.
Yeah, travel's great. Thanks again, Karen, and all the best wishes for the new year too.
Thank you so much, Bruce.
Okay, bye for now.
Bye.